vehicles. Kevin here from On the Trail with Kevin and Scott. This is not our regular show, but rather I guess Scott decided to call them a Tireside chat. We've done that before. And this one is a special little bulletin, and it's going to be subject matter.
Dealing with the end of the world.
Better known as how is the COVID-19 virus affecting the Jeep world?
Yeah.
Now, we're not. We understand you're bombarded by COVID-19 day in, day out. Right now, it's on the radio, it's on the TV, it's on the interweb.
It's on podcasting right now.
It's on podcasting. It's on Jeep podcasts too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to tell you, and neither is Scott, anything that you shouldn't find out probably better through the CDC. And this will be my one big shout out, starting right from the get-go. If you want to get straight facts that are current and accurate, really the best place is to look them up yourself on cdc.gov. Okay? Yeah. Period. There is situation summaries. Even they tell you it's a rapidly evolving situation, and they will provide updated information as it becomes available.
Correct.
The one personal thing I'll tell you, and this does come from being an engineer, don't jump to conclusions, don't extrapolate, take the facts and deal with the facts. The hype is what's going to drive you crazy. Yeah. There's enough people running around crazy. And quite frankly, you're listening to this show, therefore that proves that you've got a little bit of rational thought in your head. And I appreciate that.
I think they're here for the fart jokes from me, to be honest with you.
Well, okay.
Yeah, the smarts from you and farts from me.
Well, that works.
Oh, my God, that's a new segue, smarts and farts.
So I will say this. Both Scott and my spouses work in the medical industry.
Yes.
Mine just works at a surgery center. Scott's actually is a trauma nurse.
Well, OR nurse.
OR nurse now. That's right. She was trauma. So we're getting all the facts and the hype.
Yes.
Basically, we get a decompression every day at the end of end of shift.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're not going to bore you anymore with that.
Yeah.
CDC.gov. You can get the straight facts, draw your own conclusions.
No political spin.
No political spin that we're aware of, at least.
Yeah.
And as far as us, I wash my hands a little bit more than I did before. Do try to stay away from people that are coughing.
You're right in the middle of pollen season with no rain.
Yeah, this is great. That's why my voice is a little hoarse, folks, is that even before COVID started, I was fighting a little bit of a sinus infection, but I did get it checked, and I am on antibiotics, and it can't come through a microphone. So,
I hope so.
Having said that, there is another side to this whole debacle that I don't think I've heard anybody talk about other than a few of us in small groups.
Yeah.
And Scott brought it up, so it really is something to think about as you're sitting here. Maybe you're home, off work or whatever, bemoaning, as we all are. Okay, well, who's going to pay for this when this happens?
Well, I do want to interject just one thing here. And me and Kevin kind of had a little discussion earlier. And here's the deal. Yes, we've had financial crises in the past. Mm-hmm. Yes, we've had medical events in the past, and yes, we've had political events in the past. But have we had all three at the same time? With social media and stuff. So we are really in uncharted territories, and the key ingredient everyone needs to have, like Kevin said, is patience.
Patience and rational thought.
Yeah, it's easy to get us caught up in the hype and walk home with 30 rolls of toilet paper. And I do have to sidebar because, again, you guys come to listen to podcasts for an escape. There's a video out there where a guy did the math on a 30-pack of toilet paper, how many times you'd have to go to the bathroom for that to be worth it. And it was 45 number twos a day to make that. If you eat Taco Bell 100%, you ain't doing 45 times a day, okay?
Hey, let's be nice on Taco Bell. They had one of the nicest ways to handle this whole event that I've ever seen,
Yeah, so I just want to interject that real quickly that, we are in uncharted territories, and by the time this show comes out, things may change.
They will have changed, I can guarantee you.
Yeah, and we're even recording another show early because just in case if we have to really self-quarantine. But the point is that, just stay tuned to us for the Jeeps podcast and other podcasts.
We'll provide the break away from the insanity. Well, I won't say from insanity, but our insanity comes with a 4 low.
Exactly. Yes. And hold my iced tea. Watch this.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Josh Murray.
But where we did want to go through was one other note here, and that is, for those of you out there that were like, mumble, I was just getting ready to buy a lift kit. I wanted to buy lockers. I wanted to do all of these other upgrades. A lot of that stuff that we buy in the Jeep world is from small businesses.
Yes.
All right. And right now, as much as we're hurting, they are hurting bad.
Yeah.
To the point, I'm afraid we could lose some of our more cherished small businesses.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that you should go give them money, but if you're going to be buying something, ordering something, maybe it's not a bad time to help them out. Okay.
Yeah.
In other words, if you want, it sounds funny, but Ox Locker is a small business. Mm-hmm. All right. If you were going to buy one, right now during a downturn where he's seeing a cash flow crunch and maybe has to lay off workers, and I'm not picking on Ox, I don't know that he's doing that, but we've got a lot of friends in garages around here in the Southeast, even other businesses like the drive shaft manufacturers,
Tom Woods, Adams, you name them.
You name them. Our friend with the computers is just getting started.
Yeah, Mark over at WranglerFix.com.
Yeah, WranglerFix.com. They have employees who, might be laid off, might not. We don't know how they're set up. But you know what? If you were going to buy one anyway, probably isn't a bad time to go ahead and help float them through this environment. Orders help.
Even small ones. I mean, like Forever Wave.
Yeah, Forever Wave.
They have
the
really
zipper-based flag system is, we see every event out there, and they are a very small business.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just had a talk with Mark Larson from Jeep Lab.
Yep.
He just took that jump. You got Ron from Red Scorpion. You got Chester Graphics. You got Red Hook, Red Line Design. You got Southwest Florida 4x4, Will Powell.
Yeah, down there.
Yeah, Specialty Powder Coating and Specialty Motorworks. A lot of these companies, like you said, we don't know the situation. I know some people are probably saying, I don't know if I have the money for this right now.
And we're not telling you to go out and mortgage or put yourself at risk, but I'm talking to that group of people that were ready to pull the button.
Yeah.
Okay. Last time I checked, Amazon and Big Brown are still rolling. Well, not Amazon, I'm sorry, but Big Brown is still rolling. UPS is still rolling. So, sending some business to people, if you're in the market, don't hold off for that. Help keep them alive. Because you know what? If we don't do what we were going to do and we don't keep the cash flow going to the small businesses, they won't be there when this is over.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, you're going to want to go, well, but I wanted to buy, that particular suspension system. And guess what?
They're not there anymore.
It won't be there. Well, sorry, this website is closed. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Yes.
In the Jeep world, we are a huge collection of small businesses. Mm-hmm. Every one of them is suffering just as much, if not more, from the effects of the COVID-19 hysteria. I'm going to put it that way, just go out on a limb.
And before we get a deluge of hate mail, I mean, let's just be honest. We call it for what it is, And another thing, too, is that not only are the Jeepers also out there own small Jeep companies, but there are Jeepers that own restaurants.
Yeah.
Heath Johnson owns I can't think of the word. I knew it before.
Food.
A gym membership club.
Gym membership.
He has 3 gyms. He had to lay all 24 employees off temporarily.
Because they were a public gathering space. So,
right. So these are things that, check with these Jeepers. Keep these. This is where social media is a good thing.
Good thing. You can reach between Jeepers out there and see if there is help to be needed, and how can you help. Doesn't mean you've got to go out and expose yourself.
No.
Heck, worst comes to worst, I think of when we were doing all of these Christmas in Julys and other toy runs with the Jeep groups. It's a matter of go, load up, drop off. You can do it through a window kind of thing. Hi, it's on your front porch. Bye. Well, if you came to that level,
hey, anybody got a good takeout Philly cheesesteak sandwich?
Trade that kind of info. Who's open?
Yeah, who's open? Who can do a pickup window? And I know there's this whole thing, buy local, shop local business, do all this. Don't go to the big chains. Well, the big chains employ people too, so it's okay to split up the dollars.
Yeah,
you got a you like this we like this certain pizza place around town.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because I always get the name wrong. I always call it Pizza Station, and Kevin's like, Scott, it's almost the same letters as the podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, Old Town Pizzeria. So I'll give them a shout. But again, it's a restaurant that we really like, and they allow takeout. You know, Kevin, you have a friend in the restaurant industry too,
right? Who has the only New York chain in Florida, or at least in this part of Central Florida, that actually serves a true New York style pizza.
Yeah.
The rest get close, but he actually brings his stuff down from New York. And East Coast Pizza down there in Big Bend is fantastic. So again, all we're doing with our show here is talking about think a little bit outside the box, you know, and it might help with a little bit of the, oh my God, what's coming next, if you start thinking about what can I do? You know, what can I do to help? You know, you notice in this particular all this hysteria, it's always been you need to wash your hands, you need to do this, you need to maintain 6-foot personal space, you need to, well, what can I do to help?
And this is a good segue because they talk about the panic buying. The panic buying is a psychological trigger for people who feel helpless and want to do something that seems to be leading towards a solution. And take it another way.
Buying toilet paper is a solution. Okay, that's misguided.
Yeah. But again, the idea is that if you want, channel that nervous energy into ways you can help. And again, we don't have the answers. Kevin and I, we always joke around. People come to us with a lot of technical information, which is good on Kevin's side. But a lot of times people seem to forget is that, you know, we do our best to try and steer people in the correct direction. That's why I say do your research.
Yeah.
You know, so take that time to find what works for you. What are you comfortable with? What are you good at? You know, find those things and find a way to help out a Jeep community. And not only are you helping just the Jeep community, the joke is we're in this together. We are. We're all in this together.
We're all in this together. And Jeepers have a skill of camaraderie that is missing in a lot of parts of other groups and other peoples. Now, the biggest thing I'm going to tell you is don't put yourself at risk.
Exactly.
But, you know, you've got a great vehicle for getting places. You have a great network of friends just by the vehicle you drive. You know, maybe there's something that can be done that way. So just keep that in mind. Hand sanitizer and toilet paper and paper towels probably aren't going to be a big deal.
Just don't mix up the hand sanitizer for the tip of the toilet paper.
And Scott is back. You know, the other thing is, folks, I've seen a rash, and I will throw this one out there courtesy of our local surgery centers. There's been a rash of people going out and going, oh my God, it's coughing, so I'm going to buy up all of the surgical masks that I can buy. And they have done it so intently that the hospitals are now having a hard time getting supplies for the surgeons and nurses.
All elective surgeries have been put on hold right now because of that.
Correct.
And other reasons.
And other reasons. So, you know, first off, I haven't seen anybody in public wearing one correctly.
And they're really only good for a couple hours because the moisture builds up inside of them.
And then they become a breeding spot.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's better just to what the CDC says, you know, try to maintain a social distance of 6 feet.
Yeah.
You know, you can do all kinds. Now, you're going to cross that zone, obviously, when going up to a counter to pay for things and stuff like that. But there's just little things that you can do to try and not worsen the situation. You know, I'm one of those ones who's like, well, you know, you go in and you got to go buy gas. You know what? There's a paper dispenser there for you cleaning your windshield or checking your oil. I just grab one sheet of paper and use that to press the pin buttons on the ATM or to pick up the handle.
Right.
Because nobody thinks to wipe your hand off before you grab the gas pump.
Or some people sit there and eat a Snickers bar with their hands and then touch the gas pump afterwards.
And then wonder why their Snickers has the aroma of 98 octane.
These taste like Exxon.
So, but, you know, there's little things that you can do. Biggest one that you can do to help everybody is just don't panic.
Don't panic and be patient, because this segues into the next part is that a lot of Jeep events are being canceled or postponed or
That's
rescheduled.
The other side. So Jeep Beach down here, they closed the Utah trails, you know, Moab trails before the earthquake. just have patience. You know, what are you going to, oh my God, I was going to go to that. I'm going to do that. Well, there's a reason you're not doing it now. It's so that you'll be healthy enough to do it later.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't think of a Jeep that doesn't need a bath. Or when was the last time you went out and did a oil change or greased it? You know, last thing I knew, COVID didn't hide in the drivetrain in old grease and grunge.
Tetanus probably does.
Tetanus, well, hey, you know. And so, you know, go out and do some maintenance.
Exactly.
Tell me that you've rotated your tires recently. Tell me that you've, you know, there's plenty of things on Jeeps that you can do to keep yourself occupied. And worst comes to worst, go to your computer and start bench building.
Yeah.
What's your next mod? You know, decide what you want to do. There's plenty of things. You can talk to your friends over the internet about something other than COVID.
Yeah.
You know, hey, which lift kit do you like? Should I go long arm? Should I go short arm? Should I go with a low CG or a high lift?
Right.
You know, hey, what do you think about soft tops versus hard tops? Yeah, whose wiper blades work the best on the flat glass? You laugh, but the ones that I bought go come on.
But even then, like if your Jeep is up and running and no check engine lights, I'm just kidding. But you know,
There is such a thing?
There is nothing wrong with dropping the top and going for a little drive with the family.
Yeah.
You know, we always talk about making memories and all this kind of stuff. You know, if you have to be indoors, you know, then go ahead and take that time to play a board game. You know, when they talk about the whole like self-quarantining and all that, that doesn't mean sit inside your house with the blinds pulled in fear, you know, sitting on top of your stacks of toilet paper with a shotgun. No, go out. But, you know, the CDC website and other ones have to go out there and talk about how it's okay to go outside and do some yard work.
Yeah.
You know, go out and get that sunlight. You know, they're
Vitamin
saying,
D helps.
Okay, as we're recording this on the 21st of, was it March or April yet? I can't remember. March. You know, they say that it's preliminary saying, you know, sunlight is good for the body. And well, we knew that already, but, you know.
In moderation.
You know, someone posts saying, you know.
When your dermis begins to peel off, you've been out a little long.
Day 6 quarantine, no tan lines, you know, that kind of thing. But no, go out there and do some yard work. You know, again, don't take unnecessary risks.
No,
but go outside and, you know, play catch with a baseball with your children.
With your children.
You know, or the wife if she's into that. I don't know.
Whatever. Just self-quarantine is about exposing yourself to others outside of your family group. It's not about isolation. Quarantine is not isolation. They're two different things. So, you know, you can do things, as Scott says, you can make some memories. You can work with your Jeep. You can do a lot of things that are nice.
Dust off the old PlayStation 2.
Oh, Lord. Now, one of the things that I did think, you're talking about going out somewhere, is that I may have to drop the top because right now here in Florida, we're just at the end of orange harvest season.
Yes.
And do you know what the beginning, that spends the beginning of?
Pollen? No, wait, no, we're deep in pollination right now.
Orange blossom. I think I may have to go take me a cruise through the orange groves out there.
Oh, yeah.
The roads, and just all you'll smell is the scent of fresh orange flowers.
That'll be your 500 milligrams of vitamin C
right there. Yeah,
yeah,
just inhale it and then have somebody run in terror because they start coughing after I snorted in all the pollen and can't breathe anymore. But, you know, that's the sort of thing here. They're just, you know, rational thought, reasonable behavior, a little bit of compassion, a lot of patience, and we'll get through this.
And especially like we touched briefly on the Jeep events canceling. You know, I see a lot of people, you know, blow back. Well, now I can't go. My vacation's ruined. This sucks. Blah blah blah. And so there's a little venom there, and understandable.
But believe me, Jeep Beach didn't want to close. Moab didn't want to close.
Dude, they shut down Bike Week.
Yeah.
Okay, they shut down the beaches. They shut down They shut down the bars. I mean, here in Florida, there's a 30-day no bars, no nightclubs.
No nightclubs. Can you imagine that in Florida?
Yeah, and a lot of people out of work, even from the musicians.
Yep.
You know,
musicians. How about the poor rum producer?
The what?
Guys who make rum.
Oh yeah, pretty much. You know, it could be a stockpile of rum later, but. But again, it's just my friend Brian. He's up in Pennsylvania. Or he's up in Ohio. Mm-hmm. He just got a dream job interning as a brewer, and he started doing really good.
And he's now laid off.
And that was his dream job. And he has struggled for 10 years to try and find happiness and joy. He found it, and now this happened. So. Again, the patience and the compassion is really needed. That's free. That's easy.
That's easy.
That's a contagion we want you to spread.
So that's about it. I don't want to go on and on and on and on, but we also had comments that, well, if you guys aren't taking it seriously, we are taking it very seriously. We hope you are too. We just hope you're not overreacting. All right. If you actually look at the stats, this is by no means the worst pandemic that we've had.
Correct.
You know, SARS, N1H1, bird flu, swine flu, polio,
Tide Pods.
Yeah.
I'm always, again, I'm trying to add a little bit of humor here to a very...
The key is, you get through it, and the rational behavior helps.
Yeah.
Irrational behavior hurts.
Exactly.
I really can't make it any simpler than that. No preaching, no guidance there. CDC is where your facts are. Mm-hmm. And remember, you're a Jeeper. That means that Jeepers help Jeepers.
Exactly.
So with that, feel free to send all kinds of comments, kudos, flame mail, et cetera, as necessary. We just felt like we had to throw our 2 cents into the mix simply because we were challenged to.
and a lot of people did ask us if we were okay. And one of the things, too, is my mom right now is in North Carolina. 2 weeks ago, she was
in respiratory distress.
She went to the hospital with C. diff. And she needed the toilet paper, trust me. And now all of a sudden she went to respiratory failure. And so just this past Friday, she got let out. So if anybody's freaking out, it's me.
Yeah, because she's definitely in the high risk category. Yeah. And you're here in Florida, and she's up in North Carolina.
Yep. But my stepdad took the precautions, and did what he had to do to make things safe. Luckily, his job is working on a new camper, so he's not touching other people's stuff. He's washing his hands. So if anybody has the capacity to freak out, it's me. But my mom was a nurse for 35 years.
Oh, she'd just absolutely...
She'd smack me if I started freaking out.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, as hard as it is for you, Scott, staying down here is probably the best thing for
Absolutely.
her. To minimize her exposure, because one more person going in and out of that house is one more pathway...
Yeah.
For one stray, infection to get in. So, folks, I don't know if you guys have some interesting war stories on the COVID environment. We'd love to hear about it. Keep them Jeep related. Yep. Because this is a Jeep Talk show, and we are going to actually do a Jeep Talk show after this. This was just our little...
We're going to record show 90 here in a second.
Yeah, we are. And that's just in case we have to not record it at its normal time.
Well, I've been wanting to say this all show.
Go ahead.
I think it's time we take 2 pumps of the hand sanitizer, count our toilet paper, and hit the trail. What do you think?
Hand sanitizer doesn't work, so I'll take 2 pumps of Dawn dishwashing liquid to wash my hands thoroughly, dry them on clean paper towels, and use them to open the door before I leave the public toilet.
Okay. And this is why everyone suddenly, if you've watched the video, if you do have an hour to kill, or a little over that, you'll see the comment made, and everyone loved it, which was, Kevin and I are now officially the Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker of Jeep podcasts.
Oh, dear God, yes. And I edited that video and had the opportunity to cut that out, and I didn't. And I do owe you guys, I apologize. I do owe you Trail 2.
Yes.
It's just when you have 5 hours of footage,
yeah.
I have to relive that thing about 3 more times before I'm ready to release. And with the whole mass hysteria, I just haven't been able to get to it.
Well, the good news is we already have the vehicles for Mad Max.
Yeah.
All we need now is the outfits. Dibs on the knee shoulder pads.
You can have them. I definitely don't need shoulder pads. And the only outfit I would need would be probably some sort of rapid-fire weaponry.
I was going to say I'll grow a mohawk, but I can't. So on that note,
you just have to put your headset on 90 degrees out of phase, like you did that one time.
I'm going to grow the bozo.
Guys, we got a show to record.
All right.
Hopefully this wasn't too sickening for you to listen to. We don't do serious real well.
No, we don't. No. And half of my ability to get through serious situations is with a very twisted, dark humor.
Yeah. So, guys, wash your hands as always. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. And take care of your Jeep.
Well, yeah. We'll see you on episode 90.
See you later. Bye. Bye.